The thought that the highest court in our land took a constitutional right from the women of America and understand who was to blame. The former President Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
A North Texas lawmaker is sponsoring a bill that could have women facing the death penalty for having an abortion.
Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, and you shall obey his word and the word of his servants here on earth.
I wasn't permitted to have an abortion, and the trauma and the PTSD and the depression that I have dealt with in the 8 months since this happened to me is paralyzing. On top of that, I am still struggling to have children, and I wanted to address my senators, Cruz and Cornyn, who neither of whom regrettably are in the room right now. I would like for them to know that what happened to me, I think most people in this room would agree, was horrific. But it's a direct result of the policies that they support. I nearly died on their watch.
Roe v. Wade gave constitutional cover to the elective killing of unborn children in America. You think about the implications of that on the economy. We're all struggling here to cover the bases of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and all the rest. If we had all those able-bodied workers in the economy, we wouldn't be going upside down and toppling over like this. Roe was a terrible corruption of America's constitutional jurisprudence.
Courts should respect the judgments and the wisdom that are embodied in prior judicial decisions.
Roe versus Wade, decided in 1973, is a precedent in the United States Supreme Court. It was reaffirmed in Casey in 1992 and in several other cases.
And one of the important things to keep in mind about Roe v. Wade is that it has been reaffirmed many times over the past 45 years.
I have no agenda to try to overrule Casey. I have an agenda to stick to the rule of law and decide cases as they come.
The end point of white Christian nationalism is nothing less than the toppling of democracy. It's the theme of every dystopian novel that you've ever read. We've already seen what they did with reproductive rights and justice, and they are going to keep coming for every one of these rights. Christian nationalists and the larger conservative legal movement orchestrated a hostile takeover of the Supreme Court. Right now, they are drunk on their power.
Across our nation, we are witnessing a full-on assault against hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights. We trust women and the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. In over 20 states in our nation, there is a Trump abortion ban. Many, like Arizona, with no exceptions even for rape or incest. Generations of Americans before us led the fight for freedom. Now, the baton is in our hands.